All right, let's talk about something huge in enterprise AI. We're all trying to get past those flashy demos to build AI agents we can actually rely on, right? Well, today we're going to go on a journey from a problem we call the fog to a really powerful solution called the graph.
So let's start with a question that I bet a lot of you have been asking yourselves. You see an AI agent in a demo, and it's flawless, absolutely nails it. But then you put it into the real world, and it just falls apart. Why? Why does this keep happening? What is the disconnect?
Well, the heart of the problem is this idea we call the fog. It's what happens when an agent is built on ambiguous instructions and has to start guessing instead of following clear deterministic rules. This creates a reasoning gap, and that creates a massive trust gap. It's exactly why that perfect demo becomes a totally unreliable tool when it matters most. Okay, so to get out of this fog, we first have to really understand how we got into it. Let's pull back the curtain and look at how most of these systems are actually built today. So this is the old way, the instruction model. And honestly, it's kind of wild. We're talking about a single massive system prompt, sometimes dozens of pages long, where you just dump every single business rule, every policy, every edge case you can think of. I mean, you can probably see where this is going, right? As this text grows, the whole system just becomes ambiguous and loses any sense of determinism.
And here it is side by side, the core conflict. On the left, you've got this unpredictable tangle of instructions. It's a mess. But the new way, there in the center, is a structured and deterministic agent graph. It's a fundamental leap from chaos to clarity.
You see, that old model has some deep, fundamental architectural flaws. The control flow, totally non-deterministic. It kind of does what it wants. Tool usage is unbounded. It just emerges from the prompt instead of being governed. You have no real solid points to inject compliance checks, and the whole execution path is a black box. For any regulated industry, this model just hits a wall. It doesn't scale.
So what's the solution? Well, it's not just a quick technical fix. It's a fundamental shift in how we think about building these things. It's not choosing solid architecture over just improvisation.
And here's the big idea, the main shift. We need to move our focus away from just prompt engineering, trying to write that one perfect magical prompt, and toward real agent architecture. It's about designing a better system, not just writing a better sentence.
So if the old agent was just a simple formula of prompt plus memory plus tools, the new agent is way more robust. Think of it as a structured state machine combined with controlled LLM decisions plus deterministic guardrails. This is the foundation for a system you can actually rely on, and it proves that good architecture will always beat improvisation.
Now, to make this whole shift really click, let's use an analogy that I think makes it super intuitive. We call it the live GPS model.
Think about it like this. The old instruction-based agent is like printing out a 50-page list of directions from MapQuest back in the day. You miss one turn, and the whole thing is useless. You're lost. There's no way to recover. A graph-based agent, on the other hand, is like a live GPS on your phone. It's state-aware, it always knows where it is, so if it hits a detour or you make a wrong turn, it just recalculates the next best action.
Exactly. That static list has zero state recovery. It just tells you what to do, which makes it incredibly brittle. But the live navigation model, it's state-aware. It's a dynamic engine that knows how to do it. It can reroute, it can adapt, and it can always find a path forward. That, right there, is the game-changing difference.
The GPS analogy is great for the why, but how does this actually work under the hood? Let's dive into the mechanics of the graph and this philosophy we call guided determinism.
So this is a pretty typical flow for a request. And I want you to notice the pattern here. First, an LLM makes a creative decision, like classifying the user's intent. Then, a deterministic, rule-based step takes over, like routing the request or checking it for compliance. You see? The LLM provides the spark of intelligence, but the graph provides the structure.
And this gets to the core philosophy. The LLM isn't just running wild and improvising. It's operating inside what you can think of as a cage of business logic. It can only choose from a pre-approved list of next steps. If it suggests a path that's not allowed, nope, it gets blocked. This is how we guide its reasoning and keep it on the rails.
Here's another super important point, treating state as a first-class citizen. This means the agent isn't just reasoning based on the chat history. It's operating on structured data, things like a user's tier or a transaction's risk level. This is what unlocks real enterprise features, like restricting access to certain tools or gating entitlements. So how are these rules actually enforced? Through something called trigger points.
Just think of them as deterministic turnstiles that the process has to pass through. The LLM cannot bypass them. This makes governance a part of the code itself, not just a friendly suggestion in a prompt. It's a real safety net.
And finally, this whole architecture is modular. Instead of one giant, brittle mega prompt, the logic is isolated into these neat little blocks. So you need to update your refund policy, you just update that one block. You don't have to rewrite a massive prompt and risk breaking the entire agent. It's designed to be maintainable and scalable from day one. Okay, we've gone deep on the tech and the philosophy. But what does this all actually mean for the business? Well, it all comes down to one thing: finally achieving trust at scale.
The payoff for the business is immense. This shift in architecture delivers all the critical benefits that enterprises have been demanding: real predictability, true governance, observability into what's happening, cost control, and ultimately, genuine enterprise-grade reliability.
And what this really does is it unlocks the ability to use AI for the high-stakes, sensitive stuff that was just off-limits before. Things like handling billing and payments, dealing with patient data, or managing institutional funds. These are the areas where you absolutely cannot afford for the AI to just guess.
As we wrap up, here is the single most important idea to take away. The LLM should be treated as a powerful decision engine inside a system, not as the orchestrator of the system. That one distinction is absolutely foundational.
So, if you remember just one thing from all this, let it be this. Don't just prompt your agents. Architect them. Build them for reliability, for safety, and for scale.
And that's really the final thought. The future of enterprise AI isn't going to be won by whoever has the biggest models. It's going to be won by whoever builds the better, more trustworthy systems around them.